Hi everybody, my name is Spike Brave, and in this video I'd like to talk a little bit about the Alpine Peaks map in Mechwarrior Online. Something that I see a lot is people say that you have to take that hill that's kind of in the center-ish of the map at H9. Everybody plays King of the Hill unless it's a Conquest match. If you're playing something other than Conquest and you're tired of that particular tactic, I can show you how to be successful when you use other tactics than playing King of the Hill. I'm making this video because I see a lot of new players get on that map and they say, hey, I don't want to play King of the Hill. My loadout doesn't support it. I'm tired of doing it. I don't think it works. I think there's better things we can do. And the universal cry that they get from the rest of their team is, no, you're doing it wrong. You have to take the hill. Well, I'm here to say that you absolutely do not have to take that hill. You don't have to do it, so I'm making this video for two reasons. Number one, I want to tell those new players who are trying to do something different than what they're always seeing, if they think they have a good idea, that you just might have a great idea and it works great. And the other people that I'm aiming it for in this video are more established players who have gotten used to that mindset and are unwilling to accept a suggestion that states do something other than what you always do, because you may not necessarily be right. Now, that being said, standing on that hill and playing King of the Hill does work a lot of the time. If the other team gets impatient with a different strategy, there's a ton of things that can happen. So to say that's not a valid tactic is incorrect, and that's not what I'm saying. You can be successful playing King of the Hill. You can absolutely be successful doing that, but there are other things you can do, and if you want to try that out, if you want to explore that, I would encourage players to try different things to become better mech warriors, because getting up on top of that hill with the longest range guns you have and just spamming LRMs everywhere is a play style that can be successful, but it's not the only one that can be successful. So I want to explore and discuss things that you can do other than stand on that hill, and that it's not necessarily the wrong way to play if you're not up on the hill. So first of all, I want to show two matches. The first will come from the east, and the second one will come from the west. So we're coming from both sides. So this isn't a case of, well, if you get a good spawn or you spawn here, then you can, but only then you can. No, you can get it from either of the spawn locations. So first of all, let's talk about the match that we had from the east. In the match that I will show you where we came from the east, it was intentional. My team said, hey, we don't want to take the hill. Let's do something different. So let's watch this match. You can see the tactics that we use to be successful not taking the hill from the east side of the map. So let's go and check that particular video out. But before we get to the gameplay sections, I do want to warn you, I will show two matches, so this video will be a little bit longer. So let's go see how we did coming from the east. Alrighty, as you can see, we're out on our Alpine Peak map. We'll be heading in from the east, and the beginning of the match isn't horribly exciting. We do spend quite some time trying to figure out exactly what we want to do. So there's a little bit of discussion here at the beginning where we exactly want to go. When this match started, I figured it would be a King of the Hill match, so I'm heading up to meet up with the team here, and it becomes apparent that the guys who are closest to the hill are starting to come down. So I don't think you'll see anything here that's real spectacular as far as any new or innovative gameplay tactics. We don't really do anything that's all that spectacular other than being patient, setting up good firing lines, and waiting for them to come to us in an aggressive fashion. So let's talk a little bit about that as things are getting set up here. You can see we're starting to chat amongst ourselves, trying to figure out where things are going. But let's talk about aggression in Mechwarrior Online as we're waiting for this match to unfold a little bit. There is a very fine line between being aggressive and being suicidal. Really what you want to do a lot of the time is maintain an aggressive stance while not exposing yourself. And that can be really hard to do. A lot of people will charge in and say, hey, there's something wrong with my team. They're not fighting. Well, maybe you just kind of overextended a bit there and you wanted to be a little bit more guarded about your position. So now, as you can see, as we're starting to figure out where we're going, we have a scout. It's an Ember, and he wants to get behind us and report. And some of our scouts run him down and kill him eventually. It does take quite a while to get there. At this point, what I want to do is go up into that valley you see me kind of looking at. It's to my right there. That's where I kind of think we should be going. So I start heading that way, and I eventually stop and say, hey guys, let's go here. And several people suggest grid coordinates around this location. One guy even says bingo because we suggest 4 or 5 of them, which I thought was kind of funny that he yelled H10 for a bingo. But you can see here, I'm saying let's get here into J7 and play it like Conquest because very seldom in Conquest do you see people playing King of the Hill. So you can see the team is starting to form up in this general area. There's still a little bit of it may look a little disorganized. I think part of it is when you're playing with a pickup group, communication isn't always the best. So sometimes it takes people a minute to form up into the death ball, but we eventually get there. So I kind of stay here because I know there's good cover. But let's go back to talking about that. You see, I'm trying to stay where I think the enemy is because I saw that gargoyle up there to take a couple shots at him. He was out of range, so what I was trying to do was get him to go to cover so that we could form up a little bit better. And you can see that the team's a little strung out, but we're very much in the same area and can support each other. So I come up here and I figure I'm going to look around and perhaps provide spotting bonuses. I do take a shot at him. I think I might be out of range, so I only shoot the 2 lasers, and I am. And then there's that gargoyle, I believe, up there. And take a shot at him to get him to go back down, which looks like it may have been successful. And I can see that we've got a lot of the team moving up there, so I push down into here. And what you'll see is my team comes and we set along this bottom ridge here. You can see where I've got a mech directly in front of me, a friendly, and we kind of spend the whole match in this general area where we're at now. They kind of overextend a bit. So we've got that Ember, so we're up on kills. So on a skirmish match, that means they have to get more kills than us, so we can play it a little bit more passively, so that does give us an advantage. So keep that in mind if you're wanting to try something different on this map, that you want to maintain the kill advantage, because otherwise the other team can just wait. You can see here I'm kind of telling my team to be patient and wait for them to come down. So this is a good example. You can see that we're all here in this general area waiting for somebody to come down. It looks like they have a disconnect up there, which a couple of our fast guys go take care of. But generally, the team stays in this area, which forces them to push over into us, which gives us an advantage of having cover where they don't have such good cover. They have to come up and expose themselves at the top of that hill. We can see that this particular gargoyle here, and I'm not trying to call him out as being a bad player, I'm just saying this is a good example. He wants to get at us, and he overextends, and this turns into a suicide charge for him. See, he's starting to take some heat, and he doesn't feel like he can get back down into good cover, so he comes down the side. Now, we do a good job here of not sending the entire team to go get him. Just a few of us come around, and we do outnumber him significantly, even though he is a clan assault mech, that we can do some damage. You can see there I stripped his side torso on purpose because I knew that's where all his lasers were. He does get me with that Gauss rifle, but that's okay. I'm a little bit bigger than the other mechs that are with me, so I'd rather be taking those shots. But you can see where he just got a little too aggressive and exposed. And it looks like that was happening on the other side with another mech as well. So keep that in mind. You don't necessarily want to charge out there by yourself. You want to stay in the group and maintain an offensive posture. Now they've gotten set up here really, really good. So what I want to do here is give an artillery strike to break that up. If they don't move, I'll do some damage. And if they do move, it'll give us an advantage, because that's actually a good spot for them to be to counter this. So I come up there and I want to drop it there, but I see that I've got a friendly artillery strike. So I hang out for just a second to get mine going off too. So there we go. I do expose myself to a lot of fire. You can see my leg does get quite messed up, but I've got an artillery strike right in the center of their formation. So that's a lot of damage to them. And you can see that at this point in the match, it's kind of turned into a runaway. Got Clyde there behind me. Probably saw me chatting with him a little bit at the beginning. Good friends with him. He's a nice guy. If you see him in a match, say hi. He's awesome. And he's decided that I'm his target. He's legged me, and he's going to take me with him when he goes. That's his goal here, is to take me out and get a kill. But fortunately, I get some help from my team, and he doesn't quite get there. I do shut down. Not the best tactic in the world, but when you've got an enemy mech that's intent on killing you, sometimes taking that shutdown to save yourself, which is what happened. I did kill him when I shut down, is worth it. You can see that we finish up the match here. I am apologizing to Clyde. I don't feel like it can be horribly helpful with one leg, so I just take a minute to joke around with Clyde. But as you can see, the match score was 12-4. We did a great job of not taking the hill in this particular skirmish match. I'll leave my score up here for a minute so you can take a look and see how we did. But this has been a look at skirmish without taking the hill. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and we'll talk about the next match in a. Okay, you can see that we're out in Alpine again, and this time we're on the opposite side, and I'm in my Crab 27. Again, this mech isn't mastered, so I do like to show matches as often as I can where the mech isn't mastered, especially when I'm talking about subjects like this. I do want to say in advance, there is a PGI player in this match on my team, and he says and does some things that kind of rub me the wrong way. I like to be very inviting to new players, and he's kind of, I say hi to him, he doesn't say anything back, okay, fine, whatever, and then he makes a comment like, meh, whatever team, and that's like, don't be a jerk. And had he stuck around for the whole match, he might have learned something because we did end up winning it. Now, this is an example of where the team does not make a conscious decision to not take the hill. In fact, we're trying to take the hill, and it kind of goes sideways on us. So there's a little bit of setting up here to the hill. I do stick with that particular PGI player. He isn't a Banshee, and I do want to support my Salt, so he does come up on the hill and try to take it, and we spent quite some time here getting pushed off the hill. So you can see we're starting to move into the area. I'm seeing what we've got for players on the other team. Sometimes you'll recognize somebody, you know what they like to play, so you can try to counter them. You can see almost immediately somebody set off an artillery strike, I think, or an airstrike in that case. I think that was a bit early to chase off one light. I don't know if that was a good decision. So keep that in mind. Try to maximize those. You only get the ones, so try to keep that in mind. I come up on the side of the hill here. I want some cover. Again, I want to get into that position where I can be aggressive but not suicidal. So I can see some enemy mechs here, so I can keep them pinned down and not really give up a whole lot of ground. I'm trying to get a line on that Arctic Cheetah with the PPC there. We'll see a lot of missiles in this match. A lot of players get frustrated by LRMs. Just try to keep to cover. I'm fortunate in this match that the LRM boat appears to be a Kit Fox with a very small rack, so I do take it feels like a lot of LRMs, but I'm not really taking a whole lot of damage from them. So keep that in mind. If you're wanting to keep people suppressed and feeling like they're in trouble, hit them with LRMs. It can really feel like there's something horribly wrong. I happen to have seen him at some point during the match and didn't feel threatened by his LRM rack. You can see I'm trying to get up there, but I'm not getting any support whatsoever, and I think the Crab is a great mech. If you're looking for something, you're a brand new player, try to pick up a Crab if you can. They're actually pretty nice. You can run them with the standard engine, which is what I'm doing in this particular match. I'm kind of hanging out here to see what that Atlas is doing. I'm looking to see if he sees something I don't, and he doesn't appear to. So at this point, I feel kind of worried about the state of this match because we've split pretty heavily, and that Atlas just appears to be wandering off by himself. So at this point, I'm kind of feeling like this might be a loss. So I'm trying to stay back a bit here. I don't want to get back up where I was because I see a lot of mechs there, and I don't want to be in people's way or have people be in my way. But I see that Banshee, and he's pushing, so I want to support him as much as I can. So I get up there and I try to support him. Trying to make it hard for that guy with the PPC sniper there in the Arctic Cheetah to hit me, so I keep moving around a lot. I feel like everybody's looking at that Banshee and wanted to try to take some shots, but you can see he started backing off, and people immediately stopped shooting at him and started shooting at me. Now that Banshee's really interested in that Arctic Cheetah, and I'm trying to chase it off for him, but you can see we've kind of been pushed to the edge of the hill here, and we decided to drop down. I think this is actually a really good idea. There's our LRM boat with the small rack, but I completely agree with the decision here to come down, and you'll see me yell push Victory Road. That's how a lot of players refer to this road that we get on. You can see it in front of me here. We call this Victory Road sometimes. At least some of the older players who were playing when this match first came out, that was the thing. I don't know how current that is, but You can see that I yell push Victory Road. I know that there is an actual LRM boat up here. It's not that Kit Fox. It's a Mad Cat or a Timberwolf. You'll have to excuse me if you hear me call Clan Mech by an odd name. There were reporting names when they first came out, which is when I was playing the board game. So you'll hear me say things like Mad Cat instead of Timberwolf or Vulture instead of Mad Dog. If I say that, I apologize. They are the same mech. So I come up here and I really want to get a piece of that guy because he has got a lot of LRMs and he's a threat. So I take a couple shots, and as he's backing off, I try to get up in his face. Now this is a good example of where when you can push too hard. There's a lot of ECM, and what I don't know is that there's a Nova behind me. He's on my radar now, but I didn't notice him right away, so I pushed up way too hard. Now I've got a Nova behind me, so I turned to finish him off because clan launchers do damage up close, but not that much, so I'd rather take light shots from clan LRMs than have a Nova shoot me in the back. So I do engage this Timberwolf, and we do manage to finish him off. And yeah, you can see a lot of incoming missiles, and it's that Kit Fox, I believe, with the light racks, and it just seems like I'm in a whole lot of trouble, but I'm okay. My back armor's kind of tore up, but I don't have a lot of that to begin with. You can see here I'm kind of venting my frustration about the PGI guy. I just couldn't believe that he was so uninviting, I guess. So at this point, what I decided to do is push up behind them and push to the back side of the hill and tell somebody else for help in J8, and I decided to come back and help. And again, I pushed too hard. This is another great example of they're doing a good job of setting up a ridge. I'm going to go help. I just take some shots at him so he doesn't have a clean shot at my back the whole time. But I push a little hard. What I do see is that Arctic Cheetah, I know he has ECM. So I don't think there's anything on the other side of the hill except for him because he's jamming me with his ECM. So I see this catapult, and what I don't want him doing is breaking off and sniping everybody, so I run at him. Now I take that shot, and I think, oh, it's just that Cheetah. I'm completely mistaken. It is a Atlas. So I have some issues with an Atlas behind me at this point. Don't realize it yet. Right there is where I figured it out. My leg armor kind of went away. But you can see I get the catapult between me and the Atlas, so he can't do as much damage. I take a shot at the Arctic Cheetah, and now I decide that I want to engage the Atlas because he's the bigger threat. Now, he does leg me here, and I don't know why he... Well, he turns because I don't think he has any real options, but I do manage to come out from behind when he turned on me. And there's that Cheetah trying to do something to me. I think he's trying to tear off my side torso. I think he thinks I have an XL engine, which I don't. If he tears off that side torso, I'll be fine. I will just lose my side torso. I don't even think I will lose a gun in that scenario. So I try to help out here. I'm not real helpful because I'm legged. I can't get up there fast. If you're wondering why I'm kind of taking odd shots and jerking to my left, I'm trying not to hit my teammates. I'm not quite sure where they want to go. So I'm taking shots to the left so I don't hit them by accident. But there we go. We have won the match. We did not take the hill. It was actually kind of ugly, but it wasn't on purpose either. So even if you take the hill, you might not win. So just wanted to show you this match as well. You can take a look at my stats. And then we'll go back to the Mech Lab and finish up the discussion about Alpine Peaks. To end this video, what I'd like to discuss is the realities of Alpine Peak on Assault. As you can see, both the matches we played were skirmish, so we didn't have to worry about the enemy capturing our base. A lot of times that hill becomes important in the Assault match because that's where one of the bases is on the other side of that hill. Be aware that you don't have to take the hill in those circumstances. You can come up from the top or through Victory Road and still get access to that base if you're wanting to attack it, and you can defend it from those locations as well, so you don't have to take the hill there. Unfortunately, I have been unable to play in any matches where those particular tactics have occurred yet. So in the future, hopefully we'll get some more videos where we show fighting in Alpine Peak where we have bases, and not just in skirmish where we don't have to worry about the base. It is valid to say, hey Spike, I watched your video, but you only showed skirmish matches. What about if I have to defend my base? That's valid. I have done it on occasion where we didn't take the hill and defended the bases from other spots, but I don't have a video example yet. So in the future, when we get or when I get an example of defending that base, we will do another video and we'll show you how to defend that base from places other than the top of the hill. But that's a great place to defend that base as well. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have a question, a comment, would like to see a tutorial about another matter, please feel free to leave me a note in the comments below. I'll respond to you as appropriate. You'll either get an answer to the question, or if it's a particularly intriguing topic, I might make a video. That's how a lot of my videos come about. So again, I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. And as always, have great luck on the battlefield and hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.